This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and let's get right into the news. All right, so we got Chris Brown and Ciara. Ciara is a woman of God, a woman that really cherishes marriage. This is disrespectful to her husband to have Chris Brown having his arms are actually wrapped around her too. I don't care if they're friends, whatever. She's married with kids, and this is very disrespectful to Russell Wilson, to be honest with you. And this is why I believe she's just with him, because he has money and he's secure. And she touts all this other stuff, but really, honestly, she's just taking advantage of Russell Wilson and really him being, he worships her. And most women want to be worshipped. They want to be a guy going crazy over them. And he is. And she's taking full advantage of it. I've been in a relationship like that before, honestly, and it's not good. You know, like I made sure I'm never that crazy about a girl ever again. This is back in like 06, 07. I was young, and I loved this girl, but like she loved the fact that I loved her so much, and I would do anything. And I made sure after that relationship, I never felt like that about a girl again, because you can get taken advantage of. I'm not trying to sound like, this happens to every guy at least once, where you get into a relationship that's not perfect. Happens to women too. I'm not saying it's just guys. I'm just speaking from my perspective. Lizzo says, the last few days I've had a gut-wrenching feeling and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. I usually choose not to respond to such allegations, but here are some unbelievable as they sound, are too outrageous and to not be addressed. Obviously, her lawyer wrote this. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. What about hers? As an artist, I've always been very passionate about what I do, and I do take my music and my performances seriously, because at the end of the day, I want to put out the best art, blah, 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 blah. I have to make hard decisions. Okay. I'm not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I'm not a villain that I've been portrayed in the past couple of days. I'm very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. There is something I take more seriously than respect. I'm going to be honest with you. She said, I'd never criticize and terminate an employee because of their weight. I'm going to be honest with you. There's 5 people saying things about her, and 5 people aren't going to just come out of nowhere and just say the same things, I think there's 7 now. Like, there's a film person. There's a lot of people. There's something to be looked at here. It might not be exactly what they're saying. They might be embellishing what they're saying, but there's something to be looked at here. And to be honest with you, it's usually the people that play the victim, right? Because she's always played the victim of being criticized and everything, right? That are usually up to something no good. So we'll see. I might be wrong, and I'm open to being wrong. And also, she hired the same attorney who represented Bill Cosby. We'll see. Let's see. Lil Uzi is drawing inspiration from his own proclaimed OG Young Thug. Uzi's already promoting the next project, Barter 16, which draws from a title of Thug's seminal 2015 Barter 6. Just calling it Barter is a play off of Carter, and I think Lil Uzi's being disrespectful to Lil Wayne, just like Young Thug was doing. I'm going to be honest with you. That's not cool. Joseline Hernandez was met in court. They're actually going to release her on her own reconnaissance. This woman is out of control. She had a fight with Big Lex earlier this year that turned into a bigger legal issue after she was taken to custody. She, fought some cops and everything. It's all on camera. She was out of line. She pleaded guilty to all the charges and is expected to be back in court next week. But meanwhile, she was scoffing at the warrant and everything. It's like, I don't know, man. She needs a reality check. So let's get into Adidas. The first Yeezy restock led to astronomical sales. Adidas found itself in a bit of a jam a few months ago, thanks not just to Kanye West, but their decision to not sell the brand anymore. They could have cut ties and still sold everything and finished their business and still made earnings. And they should have done that. You don't just cut your sales. You already made the stuff, you know? So they have a new restock happening this week. So they're making more. They didn't cut ties. They're back in business because they need this. They need this. So what they're doing is hoping that, because they sold all the stuff they had prior. They sold all that. That's gone. They sold the stock they had. They made their money back, right? They're doing another thing. They're pushing to make more money. So they don't have a stance on that. They're trying to be like this politically correct company. Just you're in business to make money. It's capitalism. Just do what you got to do, okay? Separate the Yeezy brand from Adidas, but just distribute it and don't align yourself so closely with Kanye because he's erratic. I don't agree with anything he said. I think some of the stuff could have been taken as hurtful, but you shouldn't have been aligned where he is Adidas. You should have had him as Yeezy and you distribute it and you have affiliation with it, but you should put on everything that you don't agree with anything he says or anything because Kanye's shown you who he is his whole career. It's a risk doing business with him, so you got to prepare for the risk. People are really tearing Lil Baby's restaurant apart, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's too fair. First of all, Lil Baby did make the mistake of not just promoting the restaurant, but he said he owned it. He does own it, but like people tend to hate on things, especially rappers own. But it did bring him more attention. But what he should have probably done is just like kind of ate there a lot and showed it on Instagram and said like, yo, this is the best seafood spot in the city. And just on the low owned it, you know, because like then I think people would have gravitated towards a little more. But people go there to hate on it now. They're saying the food was awful, the service, the soda was flat, blah, blah, blah. Listen, go look at the prices and go look at the prices of other restaurants in Atlanta. He's charging prices where he can only pay the workers $15 to $20 an hour. Now you try to make a living on $20 an hour. You know, it's hard in Atlanta because like the prices are so high for everything, right? Like rent is almost like New York levels in some places, right? So to only make $20, you can only afford to pay him $20 an hour when you're charging, you know, this much for crab legs, and crab legs aren't cheap, right? So you're not going to get the best service, and you're not going to get the most tastiest food ever because these people are only making they're all probably only making $15 an hour, okay? You're not going to get the best chefs and everything coming in to make your food. And I think he's making it as affordable as he can because it's on MLK. He knows he knows the demographic that's going to go to his restaurant. He's trying to make it for people that he makes music for, you know, so everyone can afford it, you know, rich people, middle class, whatever, you know, like I think what he's doing is respectable. I'm not trying to hate on it, you know, because like, you know, he did get one good review. It's amazing what they charge for lamb chops at all these places. They can get 3 lamb chops on that plate and they can charge you $50 with a little mashed potatoes. You know how much it costs for 3 lamb chops, bro? $12, $14. I'm not criticizing him. I'm criticizing every restaurant that has lamb chops. Always buy your own rack of lamb chops, cut them, and make them at home. It's way cheaper. And look up a pesto pistachio sauce. Make that. You're golden. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Peace.